Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm just going to do a pre-week analysis for the markets, and I thought you could all join me. So last week was a bit of a quiet one for myself. I only took one trade, I believe, but I'm just going to go through my selected pairs and just do some top-down analysis for each pair. The main pair I trade is GBP USD, and as you can see, I've already got my monthly levels marked out and my key levels and significant zones. But what I'll do is just clear up the smaller time frame stuff and see where we are. So hopefully everyone can understand what these key levels are and why I've put them there. They should be pretty obvious to most of you who are watching this. As we come down into the smaller time frames, we'll look for some entries for next week potentially and just find the market bias. So where are we going? What are we doing? So the market is still trending bullish, in my opinion. Still moving upwards. The last couple of weeks, quite interesting. So we broke out of this zone a little while ago. This quite this accumulation zone that we've been in for quite a while. And on my live Forex analysis course, I explained how a move like this is a fake out move for the true intended direction. And when I recorded that, we was trending about here. So it's nice to see that the market did do what I thought it would do. Did get a little bit of profit from this as well, which is good. But where are we now? What are we doing? I think I might adjust this a little bit. Maybe move it to there. So we've come above this zone. Looks like we're heading back towards this sort of support level, which I also had marked out while price was trading on this area. So at the moment, price is sort of floating in the middle between two higher time frame zones. From the looks of what price action is doing, it looks like it could come down further, maybe down to these sorts of levels, which would be the most obvious and the most likely. But we do not like obvious, and we do not like obvious setups, so it's one to be very cautious of. Maybe one to wait for the first couple of days in the market. Just mark off a couple more zones here. Just trying to cage price in a little bit more. So we had this low here. Price didn't quite take it, and then at the last minute before market close last week, price dipped down into this zone and took out this low here. So essentially, I would not be looking for entries on this quite yet, but it's shaping up to be quite nice. I would prefer price to come down to these levels, but it could also go from where it is right now. What would make me want to buy or sell? Let's go down to a bit more of a lower time frame. If price closes strongly below here and some sort of pullback and a bit of accumulation and maybe some wicks to the upside around this area, I would aim for shorts, stop loss above there. I would aim to come down to here, maybe a little bit further. Can we get a more solid target? Yeah, the bottom of this here. See how these are quite level on this line. So you could target it like this. Take a screenshot, see what price does tomorrow. If I was to look for a long, I would see what price does from here again. We'd want to see some sort of move up and then back down into this sort of zone. Maybe even if we get a stop hunt under here again, or if price dips below here and gives us another wick, that could be an indication for another buy. So if you was to buy, wait for it to come back down to these levels. If it closes below here, don't do it. If we get another wick like this, then that could be a potential entry. If it's already gone trading up here, it's probably a missed trade. But for now, Monday, if you was to trade it, wait for it to come either break below this zone or to give us wick rejections on this zone as well. Okay. Next pair, GBP, JBY. So I'll just go at what I was looking at last week. Maybe been the week before, to be honest. But I was looking for buys, and I think I got a small trade or small profit like this. But I thought it'd be interesting to see what would happen if I held it, and yeah, after a while it would start going in my direction. But just, would you want to hold it for a week just to get maybe a 1-to-1? Not worth it really. So let's start fresh. Oh, get some of these zones off. See what we're dealing with. So again, monthly, mark off some key levels, some highs and lows. Current market direction is bullish, getting quite steep. Last week, or the last 3 weeks, doji, pretty much above this zone. Bullish close above here about a month ago. To me, this indicates that we've lost some power for buyers, and we could potentially be seeing some downward action just momentarily. Again, it's where price is at. It could go one way or the other, pretty much. We've had quite a bullish run, bit of a pullback. Is it significant enough? We didn't quite break this low. Let's go down to the 4 hour. If we mark off these lows here, price wasn't quite taken. So again, just wedging in price. Move down time frames. See what's going on. So we dipped below, broke above this structure here, come back down, probably a 78.6 fib retracement. Yep, look at that, absolutely perfect. Continued up, made a new high, come back down, made a new high again above this level. Could maybe draw it across there. So we have come above. If it was a continuation, price would come down to here. That would be the nice move. The dirty move would be, well, I say dirty move, it just means waiting longer. But you get a better entry, so it could come down to here, like this. Or, seeing as price didn't quite dip below these levels, we could be seeing a further pullback. Maybe some fake outs below this zone for a continuation long and up throughout the week. That is what to me could seem most likely. So it would trick buyers into thinking it's a trendline break and a break of this level for a continuation long. So overall bias is buyers, but it just depends how far price wants to come back. We've got 3 potential levels, 1, 2, 3, the price could come down to for continuations. So it's just about being patient and waiting. If you've got a larger account, you could wait for price to get here, come at entry. Aim for a 1-to-1. It will be safe. I know it's a wide stop loss, but... Or you could hope that price comes down to these levels. Bit of a better entry there. So it's another wait and see. Euro USD. Let's go to the higher time frame. So my key levels are marked off. So prices is between these 2 support and resistance zones. What did we have last week? So price has been trending bullish. Last week we had a bearish close before the prior week where we had a bullish close, looking quite good for continuation buys. So last week may have just been a pullback for continuations. Bit of potential market manipulation here. See that? Breakout of the trend for continuation shorts, but change of market direction. Price has broken above this sort of zone here. Not quite come back down to retest it yet. So I guess what we'd be sort of expecting is price to come down to this level and continue long, and maybe even further. But you know, price doesn't like to play nice all the time. The price is nice. So what could we expect? Price to dip below this zone, maybe back down to these sorts of levels. So again, it's just about waiting, be patient, read the market, and wait for it to show us what it wants to do. Okay, if we getting wick rejections here, fake out moves, spreads increasing in time with some news around this sort of area, then we could potentially look for buys. If price, say, comes down here early Monday, gives us a wick rejection, and then starts moving to the upside, I find that price never usually starts moving that early on in the week. So you might find that price could accumulate around this sort of area, up and down around here, in an accumulation zone, before it moves in either direction. Okay, so again, overall bias is buyers, but some short-term shorts. Next pair that I trade, USD JPY. Weekly, very bullish, like all the other pairs. 1, 2, haven't quite hit 3 yet. Let's see what price is doing in the smaller time frames. So last week bullish, week before bearish. We've come up, down, up, down, haven't broken this low yet. Price has moved away from it quite nicely. Will price continue long? Normally around these sorts of areas, these significant turning points, the market is drawn to it. This is a nice bit of manipulation here for the market. Why it didn't do that little bit extra? Just to keep people playing the game, you know, and to take people's money. So are we going to see the market continue? It looks like it, doesn't it? Trending quite nicely. Get rid of these arrows. Just mark out this flip zone here. Trending very nicely, but is it going to run out of steam is the question. Broken above this zone here, back down, retest, would have been a nice entry there. To me, I can see again, like everything else, similar theme going on. Price retracing, coming back down. Will it come back down to this level? I'm not too sure. We can mark out a few zones along the way. Go down to the 5 minute. So we've got a zone there. Zone here. So again, it's really just waiting for price. Could maybe get some short scalps along the way, but remember, we're in a bullish market, so the trend is your friend. You would think that the market would come down to take people's profits, anyone who's been in this as a buy, to scare and shake people off before continuing long. So I hope that helps, makes things clear. For the overall outlook for next week, again, price is bullish, so let's see how that goes. Could it come down further? It could, yeah. Sometimes it's good to look smaller and also on the larger time frames. I call it putting your head in the horse's arsehole. You need to pull your head out that arsehole and look at the horse as a whole. So you could take away all these small zones here and just say price could come back down to here. Maybe more likely something like this. Or maybe this. Basically, you're just waiting for price to get to zones. What ones would it go to first? We have to wait and see. Okay, last pair. US Swiss. So this trade I've got put on here was my only trade last week, but it turned out to be a pretty good one. So I saw price was here. And I saw that the market painted this sort of picture here, so I could try it like that. This support level, it made it seem like that it didn't want to break above it. But when this candle closed like this here, I thought it was a good opportunity for a buy, and I entered. And yeah, it's a good trade. Is it a 2 or 1 to 2 or 1 to 2.2? Let's take this off. What will the market do next week? Make the zone bigger? So again, market looks pretty bullish in my opinion. Let's get some weekly levels on that. So will price come back up to these sorts of levels? It looks like it. Price action is quite clean at the moment. You see how this trend line is like faked out in accumulation along here, popped back in and then used it again as a support. But I'm not usually a fan of trend line supports. So what we could see is market back down to these sorts of levels, take away this trend line as it's not too relevant, and a continuation long again, which would be nice, maybe even to break above this level to create a new high. So yeah, so basically in all the pairs that we've looked at, the market is bullish at the moment, so we're only really looking for buyers. You can get maybe short-term scalps, but please be very careful. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching and getting this far, really appreciate it. I'll be doing these pretty much every day or every evening, ready for the next day, so please stay tuned, lots more to come, and thank you. Goodbye.